Why you here, Smoke? What you want with me?
We knew going into this film that we would be diving into complicated subject matter when it comes to the spirituality and practice of hoodoo. There were deep roots that we wanted to represent accurately. And so we knew that we would have to lean on the people who know it well.
Hoodoo is an African American tradition, a way of life, a way of being. Some people call it magic, some people call it a religion. We think of it as an orientation to the world that these enslaved people brought with them. Hoodoo is first and foremost a tradition of remembrance of the old ways. It is a remembrance of the ancestors. It is a remembrance of the ways that things were done. So there is what I would call a strong folkloric element. The worldview of hoodoo provides a way of restoring relationships with those who have gone before us, those who are living and dead. And it's something that I think that Ryan Coogler did very well when he was thinking about hoodoo as being a part of this film. As African people came on those slave ships, they're bringing multiple religions. They're bringing Christianity, they're bringing Islam, they're bringing in indigenous African religions. You might think of hoodoo as the glue that brought all of those traditions together. They come to the United States. They encounter Christianity in its other forms. They encounter Native American people who have their religious and spiritual traditions. Hoodoo becomes a kind of bond, a sacred canopy. Hoodoo endured because it met certain needs. What we see going on in the early 20th century, of course, is that Americans, African Americans, all Americans are struggling. They're coming out of the Great Depression. But in the South in particular, we begin to see sort of a split, that people are looking at these older traditions. Hoodoo offers a language, a practice for dealing with trouble, for dealing with affliction in ways that religion could not or did not. And we see that very clearly in the film with the contrast between the scenes in the church and the scenes in which hoodoo is a part.
For all that war or whatever the hell he been doing in Chicago, and you back here in front of me. 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, and a brain that work. How you know I ain't brave? I work every route my grandmama taught me to keep you and that crazy brother of yours safe every day since you've been gone.
One of the main figures in the film is the conjure woman. Her name is Annie. The conjure woman in African American culture was the nurse. She was the healer. She was the businesswoman. She was the first in the enslaved community of women who sort of took charge of this spiritual and this material culture that we know as hoodoo.
You understand?
So I got to meet with the actress, Wumi, and we talked a lot about who this character is and what she would be like.
The soul gets stuck in the body. Can't rejoin the ancestors. Cursed to live here with all this hate. Can't even feel the warmth of a sunrise.
I really appreciated the detail, not just what Ryan and Cincy were doing in how they were creating this world, but how the actress was attempting to embody this person. And so we talked a lot, and it was really quite a joy to work with someone who is, again, committed to revaluing these traditions that have been demonized and misrepresented.
Smoke, give me my money for I cut your black ass.
You gonna put that blade up, woman?
I feel like Annie changed me on a vibrational level. I feel like I learned so much about myself, where I'm from, as this conjure woman who was connected to the earth and the ancestors. I'm born in Nigeria, and Annie forced me to look into the traditional religion of Ifa, I just felt like everything opened up for me, and I understood I was missing a piece of like a crucial puzzle.
Hoodoo is not only a spiritual tradition. Hoodoo is as much about material things, physical artifacts. I was very happy to see the reference to High John the Conqueror. High John, particularly in the slave community, became a symbol for a kind of powerful plant spirit. It is a root that people carry in order to achieve good luck. It is a root that's good for healing. We know from the biography of the great Black statesman Frederick Douglass that when he was an enslaved boy, he carried the root in order to protect himself from danger. We know that gamblers carried the root. We know that people used the root as a power symbol. That is present in the film in different moments. The idea that spirit and material come together in these artifacts. There's a scene at the end of the film that sets up a reunion. It is a beautiful moment when Smoke is united with Annie and their child.
You put that cig out, you can hold her.
It does underscore the idea that hoodoo is a way of healing, a way of bringing the ancestors, the dead, into conversation with the living. The scene, I think, really exemplifies the spirit of this very rich tradition in healing bodies as well as relationships. This world and the other world, the boundaries are effaced.
Pablo here.
We walk with spirits that are in bodies. We walk with ancestors who are dead and alive. We think of it as surreal, but I actually think of it as a different take on reality. This is what the magic of hoodoo is. It is an encompassing worldview. It is an orientation to the real and the supernatural and the natural. I'm very grateful to be part of a film where these historical details, the traditions that I study, the traditions that I love, are being represented in this film in ways that are accessible and spectacular. I'm just very pleased and grateful that Ryan and Zinzi were committed to recovering this history.